Good morning, PN Global News, October the 18th, 2018. Morning, morning, morning.
Good morning, sir.
Jesse McRae the third.
Mr. Woods, how are you, sir?
I'm wonderful, dude.
Hey, man, we're back off the road.
Yeah, back on the road.
Standing.
Oh,
Talking.
no, we're not standing right now. We're sitting right up, or upright.
It's good to see you, my friend.
Right, absolutely.
It's been a great week.
It's been a great week. Great week in Austin, Texas.
Yes, sir.
At the NMSDC conference. As much as I say that, I even messed it up. NMSDC.
The trade show of trade shows.
Yeah, man. Hey,
all the who's who of major corporations.
Yep.
You know,
we got a chance to see a lot of our peers.
Yes, we did.
I got a chance to see Gene Tabor from Toyota. Mr. Gene, I tell you,
Mr. Tabor.
Good seeing Gene. And now we see Adrian Trimble.
Yes.
In another light, she's the president of National Minority Supplier Development Council. So congratulations to Adrian.
Congratulations, Adrian. You know, what's interesting about visiting with her is you came away feeling as though that she was not only grateful for this evolution, if you will, of her career, but what's been more gratifying for her is to see so many of the suppliers that she influenced a lot of opportunities for them to have a chance to compete. Yeah, and now she gets to do it in a different role. So really exciting to see her and watch her flourish in this new role.
And also our partner in crime, John Munson from Macy's. And
John Munson.
John was there navigating the space.
Yes,
it was kind of like an old Toyota reunion, you know, with a whole lot of corporations around Toyota.
Sure.
You know, I talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
We used to have a great time with Toyota, as many trade shows as we attended over the years, so it was great.
And here's the thing, I can't let you get away without putting you on blast for a minute.
Come on with it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, this gentleman's a rock star.
Oh, whatever,
I tell you,
dude,
the way that you revere the marketplace, but all humor aside, you know, what you and I always do is we continually evaluate our method. To deliver our platform and raise our visibility in the marketplace. But I will tell you, you're to be commended.
Well, I appreciate that.
You clearly
coming from Jesse McRae, I appreciate that.
You've done some good things, sir. You've done some good things.
I appreciate that, sir.
You know, my grandfather always said, "Give a man his flowers while he lives."
Yeah, I want mine while I'm living. You're right about that. But it was just good to see a lot of people at the trade show in Austin this past week. It was a great trade show. I was really impressed with Emmett's speech too at the breakfast.
Very good. The championship
huddle. I was impressed. I'm proud of Emmett, you know, and what he's done with his business and the way he spoke at the fire chat with our partner Ying McGuire.
Sure. And Ying was great as well.
Yeah,
great event for her.
It was great.
Pretty much a who's who that's in the room.
Yeah.
So much for us to capture. I mean, so much for us to capture. We just ran out of time. So where are we gonna get started?
But yeah, hey man, listen. Today is trust in the process.
Wow.
Yeah. We got to really trust in the process, trust in the process of a lot of things, but more importantly, today we're talking about trusting the process of gaining access to capital. I mean, that's the problem with the minority business community is we got to trust in the process, and we got to, you know, it's going to be some stuff that we're going to say today that you're not going to like, and I'm quite sure, coming from me, if you know who I am, you know how I am, I'm going to say some things today, and it's just time out, you know, for some of the games or some of the pointing the fingers at different groups that's not, you know, giving you capital or whatever. But there's a lot of things we got to do, you know, as a company to gain access to capital. So, but today is trusting the process. There's a process to everything.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Jesse, you've been a financial guy.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
And you had to trust in the process to do certain things until you got to the next level.
Yes, I did.
And your financial growth, you know. So, I mean, just elaborating on the trusting in the process.
Sure.
Let's take them through the process, just the financial side that you came from to where you are today, just in the financial game.
Of course. And we're going to keep this real narrow.
We'll keep it now.
So, you know, coming into the industry in the 90s, and being largely on the capital market side, and working with a broker-dealer and an investment boutique, there were 3 levels of consideration. I like to call them consideration because if you view them as hurdles, your mindset might be that you can't transcend.
Can't get up, right.
But there are 3 areas of consideration. One was regulatory, because we wanted to make sure that as an enterprise that we were recognized by our industry, that we met all of the credential-based criteria to be designated according to whatever our discipline was.
Right.
But then the other aspect of that was the ongoing evaluation of maintaining those credentials. Because each industry, most industries, they're going to have a framework within which they're going to identify you, designate you, and govern you.
Right.
Well, all of that entails costs.
Right.
All that entails costs.
Everything's got costs.
Everything's got costs. So you're paying state regulators, you're filing for registrations, you're taking tests, you're hiring people, which is very important. But then the last piece was really where the rubber met the road, and that was the investment in the relationships as it relates to the various institutions that we were soliciting as customers. And that had a number of sub-tiers to it. We had to make sure that as a financial services professional, that we not only had the credentials, but we had an ongoing continued professional education.
Right.
That we were
continuing ed. That's in every process. Continuing education.
Continuing education.
That's what we're doing today.
Continuing ed.
We're doing education today, right, Jesse?
Yes, we are.
We got this continuing education thing and trusting this process. I mean, Jesse, honestly, man, let's keep it real. As we always do.
As we always
For the last 2 years that we've been doing PN Global News Show here at Unified Network now, here in Frisco,
Texas.
It's like we're not doing this, you know, just to get paid for the show.
Sure.
You know, we're doing this because we want to educate the investing public on businesses like you. We're educating you as a minority business, woman-owned business, government business, LGBTQ business, DBE, yeah, you name it, 7A, 8A, 504, and the list goes on and on. Chamber of Commerce. We met a good guy from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce that we're supposed to engage with. He's got 3 million vendors.
3 million.
That either need access to capital or they need contracts,
they need
right?
Contracts, yes.
But we're not getting up every morning to come out here to say, oh, we're going to get a check. We're going to smile at you and tell you a whole lot of stories. Nah, not happening.
No, it's an education. It's an education.
Not happening, not at all.
And that was a great segue, and that's where I was going with that. It was in going through that process of relationship management with these prospective clients and then ultimate clients. They were always coming back and saying, hey, are you continuing to invest in yourself, your business, and your most precious resource, which are going to be your people? Because they were looking for the 3 C's. They were looking for the concept, the commitment, and then the culture. And so the process of becoming registered and filing with FINRA and the SEC and becoming recognized as a particular boutique with a specialized discipline, and then going out and soliciting the public to try and garner their trust that it was worth their while to allow me to be a broker-dealer solution at that time. It came down to a continual reinvestment and a continual education. So part of the process to accessing capital, accessing a client, is to do an evaluation of really where you stand from a credential standpoint. Where do you measure up in your industry? Where do you measure against your peers? And then there are the other due diligence steps that go along with that. So great segue, sir. You're always well-timed. You're always well-timed.
I thought about a lot of things driving in this morning. You and I just drove back from Austin last night. And a lot of things you think about. You see the trade show. Every vendor that's coming to the NMSDC trade show in Austin, Texas, is coming for a procurement contract.
Absolutely.
You know, and you're coming to try to procure a contract with these major corporations, with Leonard and at Walt Disney, or John at Macy's, or other corporations, Humana with Latanya. I mean, everybody's trying to get a contract. At the end of the day, you came there to get a contract. But also, if you get this contract and you don't have enough capital to sustain that contract, that means you got to go out and try to seek capital. And you got to trust in the process of how you gain access to capital.
Great point. So, if we go back, and we certainly want to invite you to go back and look at some of the videos from the early generation, if you will. Way back, as in last year, at www.playbookinvestorswithansnetwork.com. Click on a number of the different archive shows. But we started this whole process with understanding the importance of certification. Well, there's a process to that, and hopefully over time now that you've had a chance to kind of go through some of the various steps that we were encouraging you to embrace, that there is a process to getting certified. Why do we bring that up now while we're talking about the different corporations that we engaged in Austin? Is because those institutions have made a conscious commitment They're past the conceptual stage of including women, minority-owned, LGBTQ firms. They've made a commitment, and now they're creating a culture to evolve, a culture of inclusion. So part of the process as it relates to those firms trying to get access or get contracts was that they had to make sure they checked the box across the T's for certification. And now they're going to the next phase of realizing they need capital to scale and grow, to go from a tier 3 to maybe a tier 2.
And trusting in the process is not always the easiest thing to do, you know, because as a minority business and us being a minority-owned business ourselves, you know, we want it now.
We want it yesterday.
We want it yesterday. You want it right now, and you do have to go through a process to gain access to capital, that you need. And it's not like it's, you know, this bank's fault because it won't give you money, or this private equity firm that won't give you money, or this VC firm that won't give you money. There's just a process to it. And you have to stay in the game. And a lot of times
Sustainability.
I mean, you know, sustainability is one thing, but staying in the game is another thing. You got to show up. You got to show up. You know,
and careful, Mr. Woods.
I'm not going to be careful. Sounds like
you get into the inconvenient truths.
It's always the inconvenient truth of what we really don't know and what you really don't want to know.
Right.
So our thing is, I mean, you know, hey, we getting up every morning. We come to the show for the last 2 years, and we're trying to educate, you know, the community, the vendors on how you gain access to capital, how you gain access to procurement contracts. I mean, hey, we're gonna put it out there. You know, and I'm not going to back down and tell you that it's okay. You know, just do whatever. No, we're going to tell you the truth. We're going to tell you here's
no sugarcoating?
No sugarcoating.
No embellishments, sir. No embellishments.
None.
We're not going to be PC.
I think hold up. This is PN Global News Show. We can say what we want to say, and we're going to say it the right way, because it's time out, you know, for some of the things that we do see in the marketplace. Emmett made a great point at the breakfast of the morning at the huddle with Ying. And one thing that Emmett did expound on is like, hey, there are companies out here that are qualified.
Yes, indeed.
To do business with you, major corporations. But the challenge still comes back, do you have enough capital, or do you have the resources to sustain that contract? And let's stop all this pass-through business. Because the pass-through business, I don't care if you're $800 million, you can't hire nobody, you can't hire nobody.
So we're going to have to get into that, really define.
Oh, no, I'm on my roll. I'm ready to go. Let's keep it going.
This is where I get to switch roles with Rodney.
We don't even need a break today. No, I guess we got to take one.
We're going to talk about that circumstance, because we've seen quite a bit of that in the marketplace. Go ahead and take us away, young man.
Yeah, so look, what we're going to do, we're going to come back, because we got to take this break, but we're going to come back after the break, and we're going to finish this, what we're talking about today, trust in the process. I'm Rodney Woods, and my partner, Jesse McRae. We'll be back in a moment.
Back in a minute.
Marie, you have pre-diabetes.
Pre-diabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get pre-diabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for pre-diabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Trust in the process. We're back after the break, but I'm going right back to this, Jesse. It's about trusting this process. And as we were saying before we went to break, there's a lot of things that we need to do. We need to change the game, is what we talk about all the time.
Sure.
And going back to what Emmett was saying about, you know, pass-through businesses, hey, it's time out. Go get capital. Let's hire. Let's scale the business. Let's pick up other business and continue to grow that business from that $100 million to that $1 billion company. But it's time, and we got to quit making excuses for a lot of things that we're not getting, a lot of things we're not seeing.
So who is the we that's making excuses? What is it? Hold on. What is the excuse?
Oh, okay.
And then the last part is for some of our viewers that may not know, narrowly define the pass-through sort of process.
So, and all of you, and it's not pointing fingers, but it's just telling the inconvenient truth. The inconvenient truth is that there are businesses that are, large in scale, but you really can't go hire and deploy more people to your company because you really don't run your company. You don't really have your own capital or a lot of capital that you can actually control. That's yours, that you can say, hey, I want to hire Jesse McRae, or I want to hire Penn, I want to hire DIP, I want to hire. Hey, you know what it is.
Okay.
You know what it is, but it's time to change the game.
So, so working backwards, you just described the pass-through.
Yeah.
So now let's get into the excuse. What's the excuse?
Well, the excuse is a lot of times education, not knowing.
Not knowing.
Not
really knowing what they don't know.
Don't know what you don't know. Not knowing how to really go out and attract that $400 or that $500 million. And I know that's not easy. That's not like a small number.
It can be Herculean. That's for sure.
Right.
It can be Herculean.
We've had companies say, hey, we've had corporations. We want large commodity vendors that are 400 or 500 million and above. That's not the easiest task for.
Sure.
Let's keep it real. That's not the easiest task for a minority or a black-owned company to sit there and say, hey, I got a $400 million I can go get tomorrow, or I can go get next year. That is not the case.
And not to generalize, that's difficult for any of across the demographical spectrum.
It is. It truly is.
Latin, Asian, women,
right,
LGBTQ, veteran.
Yes, sir.
So now we get to the we, because it's one thing to talk about this process called pass-through. It's another thing to talk about what might be the insurmountable, sort of hurdle for us to get past. But you started out talking about let's stop making excuses. So let's circle that we. Who is that we that's making those kinds of excuses?
Well, and here it is. So corporations will also tell companies like us who work with major corporations to identify their own supply chain. We can't find enough qualified minority vendors.
Right there.
Right there.
Now, hold on.
Okay.
So the we in this context
it's corporations.
Are the corporations.
Absolutely.
And they're saying that they can't find. Are they really saying perhaps we've been unwilling to find?
I wouldn't go as far as to say.
I'm just trying to be devil's advocate.
No. And you can. I love it. Listen, audience. I love it. I truly love it. It's not that it's being said that we can't find unwilling vendors. We can't find qualified vendors.
Okay.
Vendors who have a good skill set, a great skill set company, but not qualified enough to take on that $500, $600, $800 million contract.
So we can discount some aspects of the political climate that says that we can't find certain workers to do certain things.
Hey, any corporations listening to us today will tell you the same thing. We can't.
We can't.
We cannot find qualified minority businesses.
So now that we know that it's not a lack of willingness on behalf of the vendors, now we're going to, as you like to say, let's flip the script.
Yeah.
And let's take this more institutional. Are we finding that in some circles that these corporations perhaps have lacked a willingness themselves to find some of these vendors?
Well,
because they have a comfortable process.
I know, and I'll go back, Jesse. I'll go back to say it's not the unwillingness. It's that they don't have the bandwidth neither. They don't have the bandwidth to go put someone on the ground and go try to find all these companies that are in different silos, right? To say that, hey, I found a company in Huntsville, Alabama, and I found a company here in Frisco, Texas to do my job. They don't have the bandwidth to do so themselves. When you see at the trade shows, right? When you go to the trade shows, whether it be NMSDC, whether it be WeBank or other trade shows, you see all these booths that say I'm Corporation Toyota, I'm Nissan, I'm Volkswagen, I'm Microsoft, I'm Dell, I'm blah, blah, blah. All right, Starbucks, all right, everybody, right? They're there to try to, sniff you out as a vendor, and you're there to try to sniff them out to see if there's an opportunity.
As a client.
But now, just don't get it twisted now. You as a vendor, if you walk up to that corporation, you also need to know exactly who they are and what they're looking for.
Do your due diligence on the front end.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not going to play with it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
So now we get back to the willingness piece again. And see, we're not going to let this go because you and I see this in the marketplace all the time.
Yeah.
Where you'll have a growing enterprise.
Yeah.
Good business model.
Yeah.
Impressive but narrow management team.
Absolutely.
A client and revenue track record, but they've grown comfortable. Dare I say they've grown fiscally decadent, okay? In other words.
All right, for y'all who need the dictionary now, go ahead. Go to the dictionary. J. Mac III is coming at you with some words.
In other words, they've resisted the opportunity to make another investment in their business, to expand their team that will give them scale to go out and become that higher tier supplier for their corporation that's already expressed a willingness.
Yeah.
They said, hey, we can't find them. Now they're there. Or they're already a subcontractor, but perhaps they've grown decadent, they've grown comfortable. So what you're saying is, supplier,
Yeah.
continue to value that relationship now that you have it.
That-
As if you were still trying to get it.
Exactly.
And stay up on the opportunities that are being created,
Right.
those that hit the headlines and then those that don't.
Right. And I mean, listen, you know, there are a lot of us out here as a designation, minority businesses, okay? And we're going to talk about this probably in our next show, Jesse, you know, when it relates to you as a vendor and why you really going to get certified as a minority
Sure.
business, because
Absolutely.
there's a process to that as well. You know,
As we were saying earlier.
right?
Yep.
And we're gonna get into that for the next week's show. But there's a process to you becoming a minority business. There is a certain distinctive line for you to be in as a minority business. And I don't want to get off on soapbox on that, but that's coming. I mean, we're going to talk about that in our next show.
I just want you to know I got one of these brass trays with the felt center,
Right.
or the ones that you pass around for you know, the first plate is what they call a general tithes and offering.
Yeah.
Okay. The second plate is just for you know we'll call fellowship giving.
Okay, fellowship.
And then there's
yeah.
another one I'm gonna pass around for the love offering.
Okay, love offering.
Because something tells me
Yeah.
that you're gonna give us something special today.
Oh man, you know, hey, listen, I'm just. I mean, when you've been in the game a long time, and Jesse, you know, we've created a company to change the game.
Sure.
You know, the reason we do this show is because we're passionate about what
Yes,
we
we
do.
are.
We're
Yes, we
really
are.
trying to bring knowledge that you may know and you may not know. We don't know. I mean, we just don't know. But if we can bring you knowledge, or we can bring you opportunities, or we can bring you, you know, enough knowledge to get your own books and your own back office together to go gain access to capital, we want to do so. That's on you. If you want it, it's here. But at the same time, you know, when you're in the game, and this is what we do on a day-to-day, is try to find solutions to help you as a business, you as a minority business, or woman-owned, or LGBTQ, or government, whatever. You still a business.
But if you are a small, middle market, majority held
Right.
company, we will help you too. Okay,
Yeah.
the PIN platform and diversity and promotions, which is our procurement side, the only distinction that we're making is that we can designate or check off the right box to make sure that we take you through the right process and get you to the right audience.
Yeah.
So want to make sure we're clear about
No,
that.
I mean, and you're right. You know, Jesse, you're absolutely 100% right. You know, we're still trying to check boxes because this is still, it's a business. It's
Sure.
a game. You know, whether you're in the game and you're Tracy McRae, our business partner, or you Emmitt Smith, who just spoke, former NFL player, or you know, Dion or Michael Irvin, I don't care who you are. You still got a process you got to go.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
and as Tracy, as T-Mac would have told all the young fellas, even the guys that go down and train with him, you know, at his home, you know, in the off season, you know, where you got Donovan Mitchell, who did very well at the Utah Jazz.
Yes.
But you still got to trust the process. You know, whether it's Emmitt taking on another running back, whether it's been Zeke Elliott. I know you're a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Very much so.
Whether it be one of them saying, guys, y'all got to trust in the process. You know, you got to get there early and stay late.
Yep.
You got to trust in the process, and you got to study. Corporations, you have to show up, whether it be a trade show, whether it be a direct opportunity exchange with Toyota. You got to show up. You got to get in the game.
Got to be there.
You got to continue, and even if you're a pest, so what? Still go, still talk, still shake hands, still cultivate the relationship. You got to show up. So there's a process to all that stuff. You know, and it's just like for me, and today I'm hitting Jesse with all this. It ain't his fault that I woke up the wrong way this morning. I woke up in a rage, like, hey, it's time out. It's time to change the game.
Sure.
I mean, we got our partners in Florida with Gwen Pacern. You know, she's a very successful businesswoman. She's doing her thing, but you know, Gwen wants things now.
She wants things yesterday.
She wants, hey, we tell Gwen, and
Yeah.
she's our partner.
Yeah.
We're like, Gwen, please, trust in the process. It takes us a little time to do certain things, but you know, when you have a fiduciary responsibility of people's money, you got to do the right thing.
Without question.
You know, but you got to have a process to that. You know, whether it be Wesley Barnett, you know, at Publix. You know, you have to trust in the process as well, but it's tough when somebody's giving you money, right, to scale your business, grow your business. So you got to be a fiduciary responsibility of that money, and you got to also trust in the process, but you got to have You got to have strategic planning.
And that makes for a great segue. One of the things that we continue to do at Playbook Investors Network, www.playbookinvestorswithansnetwork.com,
right.
is when you come to our portal, one of the things we want you to understand is you're there to take a self-assessment.
Yeah.
What that allows you to do, as Rodney likes to say, is lift up the hood and let's not just check the oil in case the levels might be low. Don't forget the brake fluid. Power steering is important. You got to make sure that you can guide this enterprise down the right road. But the most important thing is that we allow you to go through a process of embracing some of the inconveniences that you've had as a business owner, some of the solutions that you know that you needed to address some issues, whether it be through benign neglect or maybe you've just been so busy. But let's think about the core things that we offer in our ecosystem. Mm-hmm. Key man insurance, succession planning,
yeah.
Business plan writing. How are you going to communicate the execution of your business to take it to the next level? Also getting into some of the brand marketing, social media, and strategic advisory. But the most important thing is that to understand that you have the ability to access these solutions so that now you're in a better position to not just convey what would be a good growth story, but to more adequately convey the risk that will be associated with investing in your business. Why? Because we know that all business entails what? Risk.
I mean, there's a risk associated with everything that we do. I mean, no matter what it is, it's a risk associated, walking out your door every morning. It's a risk associated with you getting a contract and not being able to deliver on the contract. It's a risk associated when an investor gives you money and you got a fiduciary responsibility, but you missed a milestone payment or you missed a coupon payment or some bad things happen in the business and you just didn't do what you're supposed to do. It's a risk associated with everything. And we must understand that, but you still have to have a plan. You have to have a process to go through to make sure that as Jesse always say, to mitigate the missteps. You want to make sure you miss all those missteps, not go through all the things that you may have seen other companies, other businesses, or other people go through. Don't go through the same thing. If you saw somebody go through the same thing every day and did the wrong things and got there and failed, why would you go through that door?
Why do it?
That I don't understand. So
doing the same thing and expecting different results.
Yeah.
The definition of crazy.
But like I say today, oh no, you're getting it today. I'll assure you, here on PN Global News today, you're gonna get it from Rodney Woods and Jesse McRae today, because it's just time out. It's not that we're angry or we're mad or we're angry black men. I'm gonna say it. I don't care. So we're not angry black folks. It's just time to get it right.
Yes,
so
indeed.
we're gonna get it right. But we still got some ways to go. So we're going to come back after the break here at PN Global News. We're out here at Unified Network in Frisco, Texas. But we'll be back after the break.
In a minute.
School's over. What's next? Imagine a place where friendly faces say hello. You grab a healthy snack, have fun, and play a little. Imagine a place where you get lost in a book. Get help with homework. Or learn in the computer lab, where you create something cool. Kids take the stage. And you get some exercise. Imagine a safe place where you hang out with friends. Your voice matters, and someone's always there to listen. A place where you like spending the afternoon, and you can't wait to tell someone all about it. The club is a fun, positive, and safe place to grow. A place to become anything you dream. Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
All right, welcome back to Penn Global News.
Welcome back, welcome
It's
back.
still on up in here, still popping up here at Penn Global News today.
I know I'm Justin McRae.
Yes, you are.
But I'm trying to make sure, is this my partner, Rodney Woods?
No, it's Rodney.
Or is this a second coming of Muhammad Ali?
Hey,
you rope-a-doping us today.
Hey, I'm with it today.
You holding everybody accountable today?
I'm holding everybody accountable, including ourselves. We hold everybody accountable. I mean, corporations hold you accountable.
Sure.
You know, financial institutions hold you accountable. Banks hold you accountable.
So if there's anything about this broadcast thus far that has made you just a little bit uncomfortable,
I don't care. I don't care.
In the words of my favorite rap artist, Ice Cube, off his album called Raw Footage, that I am not promoting his album,
right?
But he did have a cut on that said, "Y'all better get used to it."
Better get used to it.
Because we got another 40 minutes of just unfiltered, raw engagement.
Yeah,
let's give them what they want, Rodney.
Hey, I have to. I wouldn't feel right if I didn't do it the right way. I've been trained, truly I was trained by Toyota, and
sure.
and I'm blessed. I mean, that was truly great training for me to understand, the game.
Yeah.
To understand the process, just in time and everything else.
Yeah.
But when you see, strong companies that can't get out the way or
sure.
can't get out the mud. And sometimes we can't get out of the way of our own selves.
There you go.
So I don't mind saying that. You can't get out of the way of your own self. So when you see that and you've experienced it, and we all sit back and say, man, why is Jesse a $200 million company today? Or why is, company A, why are they $500-600 million? Or why was Henry a $800 million or $689 million company? Don't be mad at that. Mm-hmm. Don't be mad at that. Just trust the process and get in the game.
Yeah. So describe that process, because here's the thing.
Man.
I think, growing up as young men and women, we grow up with these aspirations because we see what our parents have done.
Yeah.
We see what some of our peers have done. And through life, now we're trying to position ourselves to attain some of those same things, whatever we perceive the value is.
Yeah.
So in terms of having your own business, you've gone through the process of, as we always like to say, the whiteboard, the napkin. You put together executive summary. Yeah. You got your first seed round from Day, Big Mama and them. Now you've gone out, you've raised
Big Mama and them.
Hey, you got your Series A round. Now you've alpha tested the product. You went to your Series B, you beta tested it, you've gone out, you got validation in the marketplace, and then you land a procurement contract with one of the majors. And you get to where you're a deer in headlights. Yeah. Why? Because the level of expectation has gone up, the level of due diligence has gone up, the fiduciary responsibility to your investors that have been with you along the way has gone up. And so now you have to ask yourself, CEO, CFO, and COO, Senior VP of Sales and Compliance, what do we do now? The simple answer is take it to the next level. Why? Because that is exactly what you've been working for. You've come through Penn. You've engaged. You've gone through the self-assessment. You've identified where the warts are. You had an opportunity to invest in some of the third-party services to remedy those issues. Yeah. You've gone out to the appropriate audience, and now you've gotten that capital. You've gone out and you have secured that client. You're a tier 3. I'm a tier 1. I'm a prime. Rodney's a prime.
Yeah.
But to Rodney's point, don't ask why, ask how. Why? Because there's a process to the how.
There's a process.
And that's what you're getting to now.
It's a process. I mean, I know we're going to beat a dead horse until it comes back alive today, and I'm okay with that.
Sure.
But I think that a lot of you as listeners or viewers would appreciate the fact that, hey, this is just being honest. And a lot of you are asking yourselves the same questions as we expound on today. Why can't I get capital? Why can't I go to the bank and get, a $10 million line of credit? Well, yeah, there's a process to that too. So we built a system, and I'm gonna say we built a system called www.playbookinvestorswithanSnetwork.com. But that system was built for you, if you want to utilize it, to understand the process you got to go through to gain access to capital.
Step 1.
Assessment. Step 1. You got assessment. You know your business.
Yep.
You should know your core business and what you do today. Okay? So if that's what you do, take the assessment of your own company. Say, okay, I have a business plan. I have, oh shucks, maybe I don't have a succession plan. My kids don't want the business. Okay.
There's no succession plan in that.
I'm gonna talk about the kids too. Oh, yeah, that's coming too. But I have a business plan, or I have either financials or iReview, or maybe I don't have, you know, key man insurance. I don't really know what that really means. Why do I need key man insurance? You know, all these things that you gotta have. The banks, the investing public, they gonna want us to have everything.
Now that's called due diligence.
Yeah, it's all called due diligence.
So we have to go through an assessment, but now we have to be prepared to go through the next level of due diligence.
Yeah.
So that's step 2 in the process.
Yeah.
Keep going, Coach.
So
I'm ready, Coach.
I mean, you know, Jesse.
Put me in the game.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you in the game. I'm gonna put you in the game, Jay, because my thing is we have to get it right on the front end.
The first time.
If I want $1 million, I want $2 million, I want $3 million, you can't be mad because investors asking you for all this documentation. It's their money.
It is their money.
And I want your money.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I want you to give me $2 million. I want you to give me $10 million. I want you to give me $100 million.
Sure.
You know, but they want to know that, A, they can get their investment back at a certain time. If they don't get their investment back at a certain time, they're going to take over what? Your business. They're going to take your business now. You can't be mad about that because that was part of the game. That was part of the process. Oh, if you don't meet these milestones, you know that in 2 years we're going to come back and take your business.
Yeah.
That was in writing.
It was in writing.
So it's like, you got to get it right. You have to get it right. You know, whether you're dealing with your family member or you're a professional athlete or the bank or the micro lending market or the VC market. VC, I mean, shoot, it is what it is. They're going to take everything you got because you need to start up money.
That's a great segue. You know, here at Unified Network Studio in Frisco, Texas, I was visiting with Ed before we came on board. Ed and Jim, of course, you know,
hey, Ed,
I'm always getting, you know, as soon as I walk in the studio, just by nature of me being a Cowboy fan, you know, I get dinged with all the Packer stuff, but we're not going to digress.
Right.
But what was interesting about the conversation that Ed and I were having is we were talking about how to secure growth and how to do that responsibly. And, you know, Ed said something that I thought was really profound and something you and I talk about all the time, and that is, in order to help avoid or mitigate the missteps on the front end, and in this context, giving up too much, go in knowing what your limits are. Go in knowing, and be unabashed about it, what your non-negotiables are. Because an investor has 2 primary considerations, really 3. The return on the investment, that's pretty natural. The return of the investment, they want their notional principal back.
Right.
But they're also interested in how much they can get and for how much. Because here's the thing. They give you $1 million and they get 40% of your company. That has a different mathematical conclusion in terms of enterprise value on the front end. That's pretty simple. But also, from a VC standpoint, they invest quite a bit of money in you. There's a natural expectation to negotiate as much of your balance sheet as they can because they're interested in the carry at the end. So go in knowing, you know, what your limitations are, what your non-negotiables are, and I know that Ed and I had a great conversation about that, and I think that, you know, when I look at the experience that we've had here in this facility, I'd say that they've made some pretty good decisions, you know, in terms of how this place is set up here in Frisco.
It's a beautiful facility, and they put a lot into it. I think it's a place that, you know, many vendors would, you know, come to know and start to utilize their services because, I mean, you have a platform that you can utilize. We have a platform here at PN Global News, and we use this platform just to educate you, listening to us, and viewing public. That's what we use this platform for.
And that's the key, is having, to your point, a platform to complement your method for raising your visibility in the marketplace. It might be by way of video. It might be by way of 24/7 webinars. But the most important consideration should be your ROI to be part and parcel to your investors. And so when they're asking questions, when you're sitting in there to give you a card, how many times we see people, we gave them a card, they immediately go into our website?
Absolutely, every time.
Every time.
I mean, that's just
a form of due diligence.
It's form of due diligence. It's part of their process, and that's what they do. Every corporate, and I guarantee you, if you walk into any corporation at the trade show, every corporation probably would say the same thing to you. They would say, hey, did you list your company in my portal? Did you put your information in my portal? Well, I'm trying to do business with Walt Disney. Well, did you put your information in my portal? As a matter of fact, we got a note back from Carla at Walt Disney Like, hey, provide me all your information, you know, blah, not just your
capability
sheet,
statement.
not your capability statement, but did you put your information in, your certification? Like I said, we're gonna come back, and I'm telling you, we really gonna really horn in on this certification thing and what it really is, and why you should use it, and why it's beneficial to you. Yes, I'm going to plug every African American company, go get certified. Every woman-owned business, go get certified. Every government LGBTQ company, if that's what you are, go get certified. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a few dollars out of your pocket, but a few dollars or $200-300 for you to get certified to use it for a major corporation that wants to identify you as a minority vendor so they can actually give you a contract so they can count the spend. It's a game. Counting spend, folks. I mean, come on, get it right.
Yeah. And the thing about getting these contracts, and we're not going to digress too much, but for those that play chess, checkers, dominoes, we know that
I don't play either.
that first move is critical. Now, when you're starting a new game in dominoes, it's big six.
Okay.
You can't.
I don't even know how to play dominoes.
You can't go out and put a domino out there that gets you 5, gets you 10. You got to put out big 6. Yeah. But you're putting out big 6 after you've assessed what remains in your hand. Spades on the front end. Hey, how many books you got?
Right.
I'm counting 4 books. I'm counting 7 books.
Okay.
But where are we going with this analogy? Yeah. When it's time to go into these major corporations, it's understanding your book.
Yeah.
It's understanding your capabilities. It's being willing to play that next chess piece. In this example with Carl at Disney, that next chess piece is inputting your information. It may be mundane. It may mean that you're going to spend 2.5 hours of your day, but that's okay because that's an investment back into positioning your company to grow. It's a process. It's a process.
It's a process. As Gwen Mitchell at Third Eye Process out of Houston, Texas, the thing she was always constantly, harping on, there's a process to everything. There's a process improvement part to your business. You got to get your processes right. You got to improve your process. You got to scale your process. You got to grow your process. And I mean, this is not preaching. So we Jesse joked about passing the tray around and everything else. But I mean, if you're serious about your business, and some of you want it, and some of you don't. But if you want scale and you want to get to the next level, there's certain things you got to do to get to that next level, and we're gonna keep on, bringing it to you. Well, every Thursday.
It makes me think about,
every Thursday, 10 a.m.
It makes me think about Migos and Drake. Say, hey, we want to position you to walk it like you're talking. You got to position it walk it like you're talking.
Jesse got all the rap music that I don't have. I'm Isaac Brothers, Earth, Wind and Fire, and George Duke, but he got the rap music.
Oh, no, we can take it back to old school R&B, okay? Because one thing about it, you get that client, and you don't continue to invest in your business to where you can maintain that client and that relationship to position yourself to grow, then it's going to be like that old R&B song, if you think you're lonely now, wait until tonight.
Oh, my God. I got to laugh at Jay. You're taking them back, though, bro. But, I mean, all jokes aside, this is serious. So
very much so.
It's time. If you're really serious as a business, it's really time for you to get it right. So I know that we must take this break.
Sure.
So I'm Rodney Woods.
Jesse McRae.
We're here at PN Global News, and we'll be back after the break.
In a minute.
Hello, I'm Randall Bird. I'm a gynecologist on staff at Texas Health Center for Diagnostics and Surgery. Robotic surgery is certainly a portion of the future of medicine. Through the use of computer-assisted technology, the robot allows patients to have less pain, a shorter hospitalization, and it allows them to return to their work and their lifestyle much faster. My patients particularly appreciate the care they receive at Texas Health Center for Diagnostics and Surgery. The nursing staff always gets high marks, and they're specially trained to deal with patients after minimally invasive surgery. The facility is beautiful, and the food is excellent. If you're considering a gynecological procedure, major or minor, please speak with your physician. And remember, the physicians on staff at Texas Health Center for Diagnostics and Surgery are always available to help.
Welcome back, PN Global News here at Unify Network with my partner, Jesse McRae.
Yes, sir.
And today, it's on.
It's raw day.
It's on today.
Unfiltered.
Now, there are some things that we've been talking about here is trusting in the process. Trusting the process to gain access to capital. And today was really about We got off a little bit on some other things.
That's okay.
We're going
That's
to
okay.
continue to go back for our next show, for next week.
We like to keep it organic, though.
We're going to keep it organic.
Yeah,
but listen, we're not rehearsing. This is not a rehearsal. Okay? This is real. This is straight up. This is what it is. So if you don't like it, obviously you won't look at us and you won't talk to us. And that's okay. But if you're a business, it's just time to get it right. Get your process right. And a lot of things that you don't want to have because it's the inconvenient truth for what you don't want to have. You don't know what you need to have. But here it is. Here's a platform. Here's something we're going to lay out for you. And you need to follow the process. Process to gaining access to capital. And also, a lot of capital providers out there too.
Yeah.
Follow the process.
Yeah.
There's some things that you guys got to do too to help these other companies because you want to give the money out. Money is sitting.
Yep.
Money sitting ain't making no money.
You know, it's funny because a number of the institutions who will go unnamed for this show.
I don't care. Tell me. I'll name it. I'm just kidding.
We were sitting with them, and you know what we found in some conversations, if you recall, Rodney, were these institutions saying, you know, just don't feel like that we're getting the traction that we envisioned. We're behind the 8 ball for what we had originally earmarked. We earmarked $30 billion, and we're still about $15 billion shy of goal. And we've been trying to do this now for a few years. And so the first question that we asked is, well, what's been your methodology? What framework within which were you requiring your team to operate? What were your methods for outreach? How were you measuring the results? And oh, by the way, perhaps the most important piece, if we want to take this all the way back to that first chess piece, is did you ever really have teeth in the very policy that you wanted to put out there and get the press release for? Talking about walking it like you talk it. Institutions. Yeah. You've done marvelously well at promoting the concept of inclusion. You've done even greater in putting real substance behind a lot of the opportunities and suppliers that you've helped. Now it's time, in our opinion, to encourage your peers to do the same. Because we understand that peer review is very, very real. Who doesn't want to be aligned in the company of a Toyota, in the company of these other major multinational concerns at such platforms as a $1 Billion Roundtable? It's not just for bragging rights. This is because this is a collection of peers, as we say with our fund, doing good by doing well, doing well by doing good.
Doing well by doing good.
Because you're saying, hey, we have taken that step to put in place policy, people to police that policy, evaluate it where we can improve, engage partners like diversity and promotions to say, hey, help us with our outreach strategy to identify these suppliers to fill these needs that happen to be minority, women, LGBTQ, veteran, DBE. Now, this gets back to the first piece of what you're talking about, Rodney, and that is supplier. Now that we've found you, the corporation is going to do their part to encourage their peers to do the same, to create these opportunities. Why? Because the data shows that the ROI is real. Suppliers, now it's time for you to do what you need to do. If it's an opportunity that's created for one of those demographic designations, go through the process of finding your local council to get certified. Allow them to engage you to change your way of thinking about why it is necessary. Be prepared to open up the books just a little bit. Why? Because from a perception standpoint as a supplier, when you're partnering with these institutions that are trying to help you get positioned to let these corporations help you to grow, anything less than your willingness, you're doing yourselves a disservice. And as we always like to say, and I know, Rodney, this is really a big thing for you, is you know what? If you are not a part, if you're not part of the solution, then you're really part of the problem. And we're saying Playbook Investors Network as a platform in this ecosystem, we're part of that solution from a capital access standpoint. Because we've got the ecosystem to support you. And you've got to invest in your business to get that. Diversity and promotions on the procurement side, that's to get you the audience to where if you're a value-added enterprise and you can really compete for the opportunity that's been circled for you, then now you're positioned for us to help you close that business. But I know that that's one of your passions as well.
And Jesse, we don't always, we're not saying that we're like 100% right about everything.
Not at all, not at all.
Yeah,
not at all.
We're saying there's a process to all this.
Yep.
And it's no way that we as just two individuals with company and employees can do all the work anyway. So
we've had fantastic resources around us.
And we have to align ourselves with partners. Listen, we don't really care. We will partner with anybody that's really serious about business, willing to scale, willing to grow. Whether you're a business plan writing, solution, whether you're capital providers, whether you key man insurance providers, whether you're succession plan providers. I mean, it takes, we always say this, it takes a village to raise a child.
Absolutely.
It's taking a village to raise a business. It's the same way, and it does, because either when you get capital, that capital is for two things. And I always say this, and some people, that's crazy. No, it's the truth. Your capital is for human capital, buying people.
Buying credentials.
Buying people
buying
that can help, skill set people that can help you take the company to the next level.
Sir.
Or you're going to purchase some equipment, whether it be a new machine, whether it be video, whether it be, whether it be computers, whether it be cars, it doesn't matter. Equipment is equipment.
And you need skilled and technical people to run those
and operate the equipment. Yeah. So I mean, let's don't keep playing with this game. Capital is for those things. You gotta hire the right people. You gotta hire the right skill set people. You gotta buy the right equipment, and you gotta be innovative.
Yes, you do.
Innovation is changing rapidly. Technology is changing rapidly. Whether you're doing solar panels or you're doing a solar farm, it's changing.
We were having some conversations.
We had great conversations.
Even with one of our clients at Toyota. It's
yes,
like,
sir.
hey, there are things on the horizon. If we can just find a handful, just help us find one.
Yeah.
One player that happens to represent one of these minority slots. Because the majority piece is going to take care of itself. But we know that innovation, you can find that in any community.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter. I mean, we're here on PN Global News today, and we're talking about minority businesses. That's what we talk about all the time. Minority, woman-owned government, LGBTQ government, disadvantaged hubs on whatever.
Yes, indeed.
We get all that out there to say it doesn't matter. You're still a business.
You're a business.
Whether you're a majority business or you're an African American business, it doesn't matter. But I'm gonna speak directly to the African American business because I'm African American. Jesse, you African American.
That would be true.
So I'm gonna speak directly to you. It's time for us to also get it right. Not just trust in the process, but trust each other. Trust each other in business too. You're going to always run into some hurdles.
Yes, you are.
You're going to run into some people that wasn't good for you, was bad for you. But if we don't get it right neither, as an African-American, black group, however you want to listen to me say this, you got to get it right too. Trust each other. Try to work together.
Those growing pains.
Yeah, those growing pains. Get through it. I mean, I know such and such was bad and this person's bad or blah, 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 but get through it. There's still a process to make it work. Keep working at it. Keep grinding. Keep scaling. And work with anybody true enough that you want to work with, you want to scale with, you want to grow with. But it's just time to get it right. All the excuses. I'm sorry. I'm just time out. It's time out for all the excuses. Get it right. You need to work together. You need to, we got African American athletes. If you don't know what that means, black athletes. Okay, work together. You can own stadiums. You can own a team. It's just time to get it right. And I'm gonna keep on saying it. So every time you see me, I'm gonna tell you, get it right.
Mr. Get Right.
Get it right.
Mr. Get Right.
I'm sorry. It's
That's
time to get
your new
right.
name. Rodney, also Mr. Get Right.
Get right. That's right. And then for our kids who don't want to run our businesses, don't want to understand the process. There's a process to you, son. There's a process to you, daughter, to run your dad or your mom's business. Get it right. It's just time for y'all to get it right too. Why do you think mom and dad go to work every day? To give you what you want to have, but you don't want to trust the process.
To be a
part
of the succession plan.
Man, don't get me started, dude. Boy, look at here.
Hey, man, I love it. I love it. And what you're really speaking to, Rodney, all of some of the passions aside, is to make sure that we understand that above everything else, particularly within our community, is maintain a commitment to lead with our ethics, period. None of this means anything if we are not committed to the establishment and ongoing maintenance of our reputation. Because when that prospect gets that business card, and we all know this, two things are probably going to happen. It's going to get put away and never resurface, or it's going to be put away, and when it does resurface, there wasn't enough of an impact made in terms of the first impression for them to revisit the website and try to revisit why they engaged you in the first place. That, by and large, will be determined by what their perception of you is on the front end. So as members of our community, we know how to engage each other. We're bright, beautiful, articulate, accomplished, credentialed, disciplined, skilled people. Let's go into these engagements in particular, as we would all of our engagements, with the intent to lead with our ethics. Number two, that we're going to do good business, and let's go ahead and start outlining the economics on the front end. You know, we talk all the time about the fact that we go down the road, but we don't know because what we don't know what you don't know, and then there's got to be a willingness to open yourself up and let the world know that you don't know. That's the whole point of having collaboration.
That's the challenges, though, Jesse. You know, and I mean, today maybe I'm coming off a little too hard, which I'm not going to apologize for. But at the same time, a closed mouth ain't gonna get fed.
Ever.
If you don't communicate to people, you know, your needs and what you want, and be willing to open up your books. I don't care if you had a bankruptcy or you failed in another. It happens. We fail at certain things.
We talked to leaders just this weekend. You know, so, hey, they'll go deep into the FICO. Right.
And I'll go back. I'll give Emmett. I'll give Emmett Smith all the credit and what he said.
Oh yeah.
You know, sometimes failure is good.
He was fantastic.
I don't believe in failure is good because I don't want to fail, and I don't want you to fail. But I know that if you learn from your failures, you shouldn't continue to go back and make the same mistakes.
True. Very true.
So you know, failing is good at sometimes, and I give you credit for that. But you got to get it right.
Got to.
You got to open your mouth. You got to speak. You got to open up your books. You don't want me to see your taxes or this, that, and the other. Or you too embarrassed to say that you don't have an audit financial. Or are you too embarrassed to even say, I don't even know what a succession plan is. I don't even know what key man insurance is. Okay, that's okay.
That's why we have our ecosystem.
That's okay.
That's why we have our ecosystem. And by the way, if you represent, as Rodney was saying earlier, if you represent one of those solutions and you're looking for a way to raise your visibility, certainly engage Playbook Investors Network at www.playbookinvestorswithansnetwork.com, because you would represent potentially one of those solutions that helps our ecosystem continue to offer the world-class opportunity to remedy some of these issues that black businesses in particular, but most businesses have. But then there's the last part. So we're going to lead with our ethics, try to do the right thing the right way the first time. We're going to open ourselves up to let the world know that we don't know everything.
Yeah.
But then the last part is, don't be afraid to discuss the economics. Because at the end of the day, we are still engaged to grow and make money together, because economics changes a lot of destinies, especially when you're creating jobs. I know we talk about being game changers, and that being the real big picture push for why we go through this process.
And being game changers, it takes a team.
Yes, it does.
It takes a team. You know, if you look, you know, out on your news every day, there's crime, okay? There's a lot of youth, millennials, who don't want to trust the process. They don't want to go through the things that you went through to get to where you are today, and that's the truth. But, you know, there's also a team can change certain, you know, industries, or a team can change a certain society, you know, and I'm going to also say, hey, if you as an athlete, you in Chicago, and you know, whether it be the Mike Finley or Tim Hardaways or Derrick Rose or whomever, you get together, y'all can own some of these manufacturing plants. You can change the game. You can create more jobs for some of these kids who really don't have the jobs, and they're going to hang out on the street, or they're going to go out there and be with the wrong group. So, I mean, today, I'm just going to give it to you real. You know, it's time to change the game, and we can do it collaborative. We can do it together. So, you know, apologize. No, I ain't gonna apologize. I take that back. I'm not sorry. So change the game and get it right. But you know, here at PN Global News, all this is a platform for education.
Without question.
You know, to understand and hear that there are things that we need to do to try to change the game and try to create opportunities for others who are coming behind us. As a lot of people lay the groundwork for a lot of athletes, entertainers, and businesses. So it's time for us to get it right as well. But anyway, today was a good day.
Great day. Great day.
And we'll be back next week here at PN Global News at Unified Network in Frisco, Texas. And we'll see you guys every Thursday at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Time. And I want you to continue to get it right, change the game, trust in the process, and we'll see you next week.
Best of luck to you.